Tampa. This one taken just inside the 10. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. So out come the Bucs now for their first drive. They'll be led out by their 6'4" quarterback, the former #1 overall pick in 2015, Jameis Winston.
And this is a guy who cares totally about his team. He will do whatever it takes for a play to be successful and for his team to win. I've seen him become a lead blocker on running plays, even though I'm sure his coaches don't want him anywhere near that pile.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. This is Peyton Barber. He led them in rushing a season ago. Devon Godchaux up to make the tackle. And this offense can air it out, and when they do, you have to key on Mike Evans.
And we do think about his catch radius first and foremost. A tall, lean receiver, but he actually can make some agile plays as well.
From the 35 on 2nd down. Winston, throw right side, taken in by Godwin. 7 yards there and a first down.
Chris Godwin, the former Penn Stater, should see an increase in action and production in 2019 with Adam Humphries and Deshaun Jackson gone from the team. 842 yards in 2018, second only to Mike Evans on the Buccaneers.
And let's run through the Dolphins' defense.
One of the more underrated yet valuable positions in the NFL is safety, and Rashad Jones epitomizes what you're looking for. A guy who can drop down into the box in the run game and tackle those bigger, stronger running backs. He can also cover people, whether it's tight ends or bigger slot guys, and that gives him the ability to stay on the field every down and make big plays.
Now the 2nd down throw on target. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. A 3-yard gain and enough for the first down. Defense had a chance to get off the field here on the opening drive, couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important 3rd down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
Come on. Watch that in. Watch that in. Tight end's right.
Jameis now on 1st down. Got him in. It's Brashad Perriman. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a first down.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in this paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Here we go again.
Andre Ellington, his first carry. He winds up getting only a couple there, down to the 29.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Jameis to throw it. Over the middle, he finds Godwin complete. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
So on 4th down, on comes the Buccaneer kicker, Matt Gay. From the left hash, this from 39. Gay's kick is good. And the Bucs take a 3-0 lead. So they'll likely get a few more drives before we see the second team, but a good start for the first unit with 3 points.
Yeah, good start, and now they want to see them build on it because you're exactly right. They'll get a few more drives at this stage of the preseason. Can they continue to evolve and add to what we just saw in the first drive?
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So now here are the Dolphins getting set for their first drive. Leading them out is going to be their quarterback. That's the grizzled vet, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
One thing that I think Ryan Fitzpatrick doesn't get enough credit for is his toughness. This is a guy who plays through injuries, but it's also being mentally tough, knowing that everyone's always trying to move him out of the lineup, trying to find a replacement for him, yet he continues to battle and has earned the total respect of his teammates.
Space to maneuver at the 40. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
I know that play went to the left side, and that's what it was designed to do, an outside handoff there. But how about the whole offensive line being involved? Seal the left side where the play was going, what they call play side. But how about on the back side? Just taking care of business to make sure no one can get there and disrupt it.
Is the biggest key the left tackle?
Without a doubt. Control that edge. Get out there. You want that left tackle. If you bring your tight end over there, either way, control the edge of the line of scrimmage, you got a chance to rumble.
Here's a throw that's taken in out of the backfield. Call it a pickup of 7, and that'll make this a second down. He's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
I'm not sure that this play was designed for him specifically, but they got through the progressions and got the ball to him. So second catch on the drive. He may not be a primary guy, but they definitely want him involved, don't they?
Absolutely. This early, the opening drive, as you said, 2 catches. So if they can get him going in the passing game, that should open up his running game too. Off the play fake here, Fitzpatrick. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Devontae Parker was the intended receiver. And it's second down. As we thought they might do here in week 2 of the preseason, they'd left their starting quarterback out there for this second quarter. I would imagine. Now Drake loses the football, and it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line.
No coach or team's ever happy when someone has a turnover, but if there's ever a good time to do it,
preseason.
Yeah, right now. You know that come regular season, he's going to be ready to go, and maybe he'll remember, yeah, I don't want to do this when it comes time for the games to count.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. Well, what do you think? You get the ball off the turnover near the middle of the field. You take a shot here on the first play?
You know I'm big on that. I love when I have great field position. After a turnover, I feel like I might have them a little bit off balance. I prefer to take a shot, but a lot of coaches will tell you only do it if you trust the guy who's got the football in his hands. Meaning, if it's not there, he won't force it downfield and maybe turn it into an interception. He'll go to the check down, go to a second option, and go ahead and take the play that's in front of him. Peyton Barber, a surprise workhorse for the Buccaneers in 2018. I don't think they expected him to have 234 carries, but he certainly felt like he could carry the load and just carried it there for a nice gain. I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down.
And with the Buccaneers' new coaching staff, you have to figure they're going to want to use O.J. Howard a little bit more this season. 34 catches, 565 yards last year, but that was in only 10 games. 6'6", 251, and can run. Find a way to get him the ball as they just did there.
Winston in the offense with a 1st and 10, and he's a perfect 6 for 6 here to start the ball game. Winston, that's complete to his receiver, Godwin. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Now a throw for the left sideline, and he's got it. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 15 yards on the play, first down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
First time into the red zone for the Buccaneers. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 17. Jameis again. This will be caught just inside the 10. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. That's another gain of 15 on back-to-back plays.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Again, it's Winston. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Give the sack to Jerome Baker.
Well, if you're going to throw the ball on 1st and goal from the 2, the worst thing that should result is an incompletion for you offensively. But, Brandon, this is a different type of football. Back in my day, 1st and goal from the 2, a lot of big people with big neck rolls, they were on the field trying to ram it into the end zone.
Well, they don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Now Ellington. He's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. Taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Bucs are going to add on to their lead. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good. And the lead grows to 10-0. So that drive in total 8 plays. And in the end, the finishing touch, an 11-yard run. Following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And now let's talk about Kenyon Drake. He's got to clear his mind a little bit right now. 1 carry, and that carry was a lost fumble.
Clear his mind, clear his hands, and just let this one go. Sometimes it happens. You drop the ball, get a full game ahead of him, hand it to him again, see if they can start to produce.
Drake will start the drive on the ground. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. 7 yards on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down. Here's Fitzpatrick. It's complete to Drake. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. On 4th down, Matt Hawk is on to punt. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one.
Good one, boys. Let's go. Let's go.
Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills.
Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. Well, I think you can go ahead and give your punter an assist on that one. Pinned him deep, and the defense comes through with 2 points.
You're exactly right, partner. This was all set up by a great punt, and if the ball goes in the end zone, this never happens. So great call. Give the punt team and the punter some love.
So after that safety, now a free kick situation forthcoming as they punt it away from the 20.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first two drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved, right? Turnover, you just noted it.
Punt's better than the turnover.
The punt is better on the second one. Now they're hoping to turn into first downs and hopefully points.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. You know, during these preseason games, we're in week 2 right now, it's always funny looking at our spot charts up here in the booth because with all the guys that might play in this one, it seems to get bigger and bigger each year.
Yeah, we pretty much supersize them, don't we? Because, you know, remember, they're carrying 90 now. And with the new rules, they'll carry 90 all the way through the preseason before they make the final cut. Oh, yeah, a lot of guys to learn for these games.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Fitzpatrick. And Stills over the middle. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. To the air again, Fitzpatrick. And he finds Stills, complete. And he coughed it up. The Dolphins going to take their 2nd timeout as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. This quarterback now 9 of 11 passing in this first half. He's got his guys at 1st and 10. Again, it's Fitzpatrick. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 12 more yards there and another 1st down. This will be their first trip to the red zone. They've got it 1st and goal to go. That's complete right around the 8. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. Throwing again on 2nd down. Fitzpatrick. And this is complete. It's Allen. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in just a minute. Week 2 of the preseason is upon us. We've got 2 more after this one, and then we get it all started, as we normally do, on the first Thursday after Labor Day. In our game, the defenses look to be ready for the regular season. Maybe not the offenses just yet, but still a half to go as we get you back out to Brandon Gaudin.
Okay, Coach. Appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they're marching off another 15 against your squad.
So the face mask puts them in even better shape than they were in as they'll have a short field here on 1st and 10. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be a 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
That one good for a 1st down pickup of 18 yards.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. The play fake to Balaj. Now Rosen. big loss here as he's taken down. Bo Allen. Give him the credit for the sack and a loss of 14 yards. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. They go play action. It's Rosen. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. The intended receiver was Jakeem Grant. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. Now it's Rosen. And that will be incomplete.
So now here in the 2nd week of the preseason, you'd expect the starters to play a little bit more than they did in week 1, but not a whole lot.
So if you're an offensive coordinator, what are you looking for?
What you're looking for is things getting cleaned up as you go along, because most of your playbook's probably installed. How well are they handling it? Easy in and out of the huddle? No mental mistakes? Are they starting to look like a good offensive football team?
These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the 2nd half. That field goal a moment ago cut into their lead, but they still have that lead. They'll be looking to get the points right back.
And you just took me back to playing days. I can hear my head coach now in the locker room at halftime. The last thing he always said was,
"Don't screw up, Davis."
Well, besides that became a catch-all. But he always told the team, first 5 minutes, extremely important. How are we going to react? How are we going to take control? We need to. Well, in this case, his team didn't. They gave up a field goal. Can they get their momentum back going in their direction? See if they have a match or an answer on this drive.
We'll see. So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 46. From the gun, Gabbard. That's into the hands of the tight end, Leggett. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
And the penalty makes this a much more manageable 3rd down, 3rd and 2. From the shotgun, it's Gabbard. And that is incomplete. How about the defensive effort from both of these teams that we've seen in this game?
Would you say it's like a high-stakes chess match right now?
Chess is one way to go. Yeah, I like it.
Okay, the only reason I say that, you feel like they're contemplating their moves before actually making one, and none of them being done very confidently.
Truth be told, I've never played chess, and I know that I'm not smart enough to play chess. Guys like you with your IQ, you can pull that off. The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on 1st down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. 15 yards on the play, first down. When he runs, he seems to do a nice job of knowing when to be patient and find the hole, and then when the hole is there, he goes quickly.
You're exactly right. He knows how to just take off, but you know what else? Brings a little thump with him, doesn't he?
He does.
He packs the boom at the end of the run and finishes it going forward. That's what you want to see out of your backs.
You can't block me.
Off the play fake, here's Rosen. He's going to loft one, deep left side here. And nearly picked off there, and it would have been a great time for their first pick. Instead, it's second down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
False start, offense.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Pressure comes and down goes Rosen. Carl Nassib drops him for a loss of 10, and it's going to be 4th and long.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long, why are you calling play action?
Yeah, because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking, but to me it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and it leads to a play-action sack. Here's Matt Hawk now as he'll punt it away for the second time. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback.
60 Pittsburgh.
Gabbert now to throw on first down. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but if they make them out of bounds, that does you no good.
And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
So we'll get the penalty all sorted out when we get back. And that'll do it for the end of the third quarter. You're watching preseason football on EA Sports. And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Out of the gun, Gabbert. The left side completion to Jones. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Boy, a tight game like this, fourth quarter, personal foul penalties, a no-no.
Yeah, we know the emotions are running high. The tensions are the same. Who can control them best could ultimately win it.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Gabbert. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down.
You better be ready.
Oh, free safety blitz. That can be a gamble, but it proves fruitful there.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the gamble because oftentimes the free safety is the last line of defense against a long pass. And when he comes at the quarterback, he'd better get home and make the play. Otherwise, a big play could result for the offense.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Throwing. Gabbert finds his target, the rookie Scott Miller.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you've got to run fast. Of course, you've got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
So on fourth down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And he missed it. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Pressure comes, and down goes Rosen. Carl Nassib able to drop him that time for his second sack of the evening. Well, it was second long. Now it's third and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving them exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
The Dolphins on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 17. To throw is Rosen. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. 14 yards is the pickup there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Here's Matt Hawk now as he's on to punt for Miami. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. Back to the ground, this time with Jones. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play as we have reached the 2-minute warning. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. They're looking at a 4th down now as they try to hold on to this lead for dear life. Taken in at the 22. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards, and it'll be Dolphin football. So Josh Rosen in the offense. Down by 5, 1:52 to play. You can't say the preseason isn't interesting. This has been great as they come up 1st and 10. Good starting field position for the Dolphins as they have it 1st and 10. Back to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line.
Well, that simply is a missed opportunity. They're in position. If they take the ball downfield and score, they've got a chance to win the game. Instead, they cough it up. I don't think next week at practice is going to be a whole lot of fun for him.
On the other side, no bigger time to force a turnover when you've got that small lead.
Yeah, and when you look at it from the offense's perspective, taking care of the ball, so important. I know they're going to have all kind of ball security drills in practice all next week.
Give me that ball, defense. Give me that. Let it go. Give me that ball, defense. 43.
On the ground, Ellington. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Again, they run with Ellington. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. They'll try and run for it with Jones. He's got a first down and much more inside the 20. Touchdown, Tampa Bay! Ronald Jones, 35 yards. And the fumble recovery leads to 6 points for the Buccaneers.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside at 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
Extra point by Gay is up and good, and it gives his guys a 12-point advantage. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it's Ronald Jones that polishes it off with a touchdown run. Following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away.
We got this.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
Now the throw here complete on the right sideline. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
And now it's 1st and 10, a big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. From the shotgun, it's Rosen. Out to the flat, that's complete to his running back. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Rosen. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They got the... And this is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a 1-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
Jason Sanders now for the extra point. And this is back to a 5-point game. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it ends with a touchdown for the Dolphins. 25 seconds to go. A must recover if they're going to have any chance. And the Bucs are on this one. And that should just about do it. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts as the clock stops with 23 seconds to go in the game.
On the ready. Mike 20. You don't want none, baby. You don't want none. Hey, you don't want to sit. Go.
And they take a knee.
Here we go.
Well, partner, it's just preseason, but it always feels good to be in victory formation, taking the knee for the W.
Yeah, I've often thought to myself when I watch these preseason games, some teams need the wins more than others. You know, if you're established and you're used to winning, not quite the same. But if you're trying to learn how to win, it's important to get it done. And to be able to kneel down at the end, even better.
So time has run out on what will be a Tampa Bay victory. And it wasn't really always pretty. They had their bumps and bruises. Really, both sides did. But they did what they needed to do at home to get the win.
Yeah, they really had to grind this one out, didn't they? Because nothing came easy. Every snap was a major league brawl. They had to win at the line of scrimmage, win downfield. They got all those things accomplished. But to win a close one like this, you know, every team wants to be physical. We've heard that a million times, right? But those who are mentally tough, those are the teams that you have to deal with in the playoffs. This was that type of a game.
I'm Brandon Gaudin, certainly.